Isn't this just rich folks? Now a bunch of Texans, many who are Republicans, are so worried about Donald Trump's bloody mass deportation program. Donald, I know we've been saying all of these things, that we hate migrants and deport them all, and we've been showing up at the rallies and chanting for that with you as you've been saying bloody mass deportations, invasion this, invasion that. But Donald, this is going to crush our businesses. Hey, Donald, you know the secret? The secret is that we actually use a lot of undocumented migrants in order to survive. So can you give us an exemption, please? Because we need these workers to survive. Well, you effed around and you found out. You put your racism and your hatred on full display, and now you're facing the consequences of the fact that our labor market requires that we have migrants who are working certain types of jobs. Period, full stop. Whether it's in hospitality, whether it is in construction, whether it is in agriculture, whether it's in things like shipbuilding, whether it is in a number of industries, we need a pathway to citizenship to do this the right way. And doing it the right way also means ensuring that Americans can get better paying jobs as well. This isn't just, hey, we need to give migrants lots of jobs. We need to have a system that gives Americans better paying jobs, and also that we deal with labor shortages in a smart way. But no, folks, now you've got Donald Trump out there saying, well, look, we're going to do the bloody mass deportations as it relates to some countries, usually the ones like Mexico and Central America and South America. But when it comes to engineers, even though there's a lot of Americans who are capable and qualified with STEM jobs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, no, we need Indian labor for that because it's cheaper, and essentially we could use H-1B visa labor as indentured servants. Again, I think that there's a place, though, for H-1B visas. However, we also need to respect American workers to fill those jobs, because there's a heck of a lot of Americans who can be paid a decent wage doing that job. Here's the report out of the Texas Tribune, folks. Some Texas business leaders are apprehensive about Trump's pledged deportations. This is a great article by Alejandro Martinez, Alejandro Serrano, Bernice Garcia, Carlos Nogueros Ramos, and Joshua Felcher. We wouldn't survive without undocumented workers, one South Texas produce business owner said. By one estimate, 8% of Texas workforce lacks legal status. 8%? I think that number may need to be multiplied by about 2.5 to 3 times if you want to get the real number. I'm going to guess the real number is probably closer to 25 or 30%, or maybe even more. But we'll buy into the 8% number, sure. We'll buy into it. In Texas, undocumented people have built apartment complexes and skyscrapers that change skylines. Good thing, right? That's good. They have picked fruits and vegetables in fields, cooked in restaurant kitchens, cleaned hospitals, and started small businesses. That would seem to be a good thing, right? Good thing. They have become stitched into communities from El Paso to Beaumont. Seem to be a good thing, huh? Now, some of their employers worry that many of them could get deported when President-elect Donald Trump returns to the White House. Oh, but didn't those employers all say that we want to deport them all? They had the signs at the RNC, mass deportation, make them bloody, deport them all. Oh, now y'all are worried? What? How did that happen? A number of Texas business leaders interviewed by the Tribune describe a sort of wait-and-see apprehension about Trump's pledged mass deportations. The impact any deportations could have on Texas' economy will largely depend on the specifics of what Trump does, business leader says, but those specifics are not yet clear. I thought he was a good businessman. Shouldn't he lay out the priorities like in a clear way? Don't businesses like certainty? Oh, all of a sudden businesses like chaos, and they like having workplace raids for their labor. That's what y'all like in Texas. And they say things are bigger in Texas, so you like bigger raids, bigger workplace raids in Texas? I don't think any of us know exactly what's coming as far as policy. We've heard all of the rhetoric, said Andrea Coker of the North Texas Commission, a nonprofit that promotes the Dallas region. Now, don't you think that fact alone is problematic? That we don't know what's coming as far as policy, but we heard the rhetoric? Wouldn't you want rhetoric to be aligned with policy? Like, isn't that kind of a quality of leadership? Or am I just such a lefty? Is this such a liberal concept that I think that leaders should speak with clarity? Oh, I'm so progressive. What a wild thought that I want leaders to be clear and have business plans and talk through things carefully and be respectful and do the things they say they're going to do. Oh, what a crazy concept. I guess it's smarter to follow what all these MAGAs are saying. You just need a maniac to give you accordion hands, and you don't even know what they're going to do. The owner of the Rio Grande Valley agriculture import-export business, who spoke on the condition of anonymity for fear of legal repercussions. In other words, I'm a Republican of anonymity for fear of legal repercussions, said 4 of his 7 employees are undocumented. By the way, go back to the number I said, right? Multiply it by 3 or 4. I wouldn't be shocked if it's 50 or 60% is the real number. A majority of similar businesses would take a hit should the government deport undocumented people en masse, the business owner estimated. Without undocumented workers, he said, we wouldn't survive and we'll have to close. So why were all of you supportive of the guy who's going to shut down your business? You love that racist rhetoric so much that you can't articulate what's actually good for you? You'd rather destroy your own life, your own business, your own family's future for racist rhetoric that makes you feel good at some rally? Like, are you stupid? Like, honestly, like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, are you stupid? Does that mean that I'm saying, are you stupid? I don't know. Yeah, I'll keep reading. He said he hired undocumented workers because he struggled to find U.S. citizens and legal residents willing to do the grueling work. Quote, the people who are here legally don't want to work here. They'd rather collect unemployment, he said. We've hired people who were documented, but they don't last. By the way, how many of the people do you think that he's describing there who are here legally who would rather collect unemployment in Texas, who aren't doing those jobs? How many do you think that they rail against government handouts and support policies that would also literally remove the benefits that they have? So they want to remove the benefits that they get and do mass deportations. It's why Donald Trump said, I love the poorly educated. It's why Donald Trump and MAGA want to abolish the Department of Education, because stupid is what stupid does, as Forrest Gump said. And speaking about mass deportations, Trump and his incoming aides have said, they will prioritize deporting people with a criminal history. Okay, that's not what they've said, Texas Tribune. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some interviews where they say that, but I see other interviews where they say on day one, it'll be bloody mass deportations. But Texas state leaders are eager to help Trump, and the state is a target-rich environment. The Pew Research Center estimates that unauthorized immigrants make up about 8% of the state's workforce, including a large presence in hospitality, restaurant, energy, and construction industries. The state comptroller's office did a study in 2006 to find out how the state economy would look without the estimated 1.4 million undocumented immigrants living in Texas in 2005. The study said their absence would cost the state about $17.7 billion in gross state product, a measure of the value of goods and services produced in Texas. The state has not updated the study since. Okay, I want you to think about that too. Why don't they do the study? You want to know the answer? It's the same reason why MAGA Republicans refuse to do studies on gun safety. They can't even pass legislation at the federal level or in many Republican state legislatures to do studies on gun safety. Do you know why? It's the same reason why Donald Trump didn't want to do testing during COVID. Because if you don't do studies, if you don't analyze the data, you just live in a propaganda world and you pretend that problems just don't exist and that your just propaganda narratives are the reality. That's why the last report was done in 2006, about 2005. So you want to extrapolate some data here, folks? So If in 2005, the study says that it would cost $17.7 billion in gross state product, what would you think it would be in 2025, 20 years later? I'll give you my estimate right now. To me, because Texas has grown a lot since then as well, I think it would be about $150 billion or even more in gross state product. Maybe I'm a little bit too high there. Maybe that's over a number of years, but I'll go at least 3x. How about that? I'll give it the most conservative estimate and say it would cost at least $30 to $35 billion in gross state product. That's my estimate. Quote, "We know that immigrants are punching above their weight," said Jamie Puente, director of the economic opportunity at a left-leaning nonprofit, Every Texan. "We are looking at a significant loss of productivity." You think? That's, folks, what are we doing here? I mean, seriously, what are we doing here, right? I mean, just think about this article. You've got the businesses in Texas saying that they need labor that's undocumented to do these jobs. Okay? Because they're saying that the Texans who live in the state refuse to do the jobs and like to collect unemployment checks. Okay? So the people collecting the unemployment checks are likely the MAGA voters. The business owners are like, it's Texas, are likely MAGA Trump voters. How do we know that? Because take a look at Texas voting history. It's not a difficult thing to extrapolate that. So you're going to, the people who are on unemployment, they're going to vote to get rid of their benefits. The businesses are going to vote to get rid of their labor. And you're going to say that somehow I'm a radical for pointing that out? Like, it's literally nonsensical. That's why the leopards are eating your face. But why can't we talk about this in a common sense way? I'll tell you why. Every time you try to talk about it, what does MAGA do? Oh, but woke, did you hear about the transgender volleyball player in San Jose State? Oh, could you believe, does that make you angry, everybody? Could you believe it? San Jose State, everybody cherishes San Jose State volleyball. They're letting a transgender woman play volleyball. Have you heard about Algerian boxing? Do you see this woman in Algeria? Does she look like a man? Oh, should we get angry about that? I mean, just horribly, despicable things to say. What are we talking about? Why are you attacking a accomplished woman boxer in Algeria? And somehow that's Biden's fault. That's Democrats. Oh, are you guys mad that a transgender congresswoman's going to use the bathrooms? Use a woman's bathroom? Ah. Can you? Did you see this one? Nancy Mace said, I passed a man wearing makeup and pretending to be a woman or something like that, right? And then I saw this photo of J.D. Vance. Is that who you were talking about? Anyway, y'all tell me what you think. Can we just be normal? Can we not punch down at marginalized communities? Can we be compassionate and empathetic with people? And then we could focus on helping the economy. We could focus on working with undocumented workers to try to make them documented. If they are helping the economy and contributing, we can still have very strong borders. Very strong borders. We should hold criminals accountable to the fullest extent of the law. We all agree with that. No one wants criminals here. Let's be clear. Americans commit crimes far more than migrants do. By far, it's not even close. I'm just sick of the fear-mongering. I just want common sense solutions. That's all. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Turn your notifications on for the channel as well. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.